soothing hatha. I'm always like, when I try to move it, I'm like, it has to be so gentle. Ugh. I've been moving lots of things, so I have lots of things to move. I came on a little early to chit chat, and I debated figuring out themes and where the class was going to go. On Sundays, if we are connected on Instagram, if not, connect with me. But on Instagram, I pull these cards. I've been repracticing and looking at the Sanskrit of the yoga poses and the asanas, and so I debated maybe pulling some of those cards. And I don't know, I was like, well, that's just a theme for Sunday, but now it seems like it's becoming a theme of just the practice. So let's do it. Like while I'm here, but you could also take this moment to get your mat, get a chair. This is the evening hatha yoga for a wind down or calm, or even if it's not like your time to wind down and then that be the end of your day, it could just be a moment of peace for yourself, kind of clocking out of whatever is happening around you, whatever you have going on, and just take some breaths, have a smile, close the eyes if you choose, and relax. I've had some people tell me that they will turn on the class and they'll just listen, like, and then it's just that moment of to do nothing, because maybe even the voice fades depending on what's going on with them. So it's perfect. Oh, how the cards they fall. Perfect. In a life of unperfect things and imperfections, perfection has found its way. So there's a card I'd like to bring attention to, two cards actually, and that is, well, an asana, Uttanasana, which is a forward fold or standing forward bend. And then we have Paschimottanasana, which is a seated forward fold. And I brought to attention last time the Uttana, which is an intense stretch. So the Ut, intense, and Tan, stretch. So that's where we get Uttanasana. So it can be fun to have different cards and resources when practicing to learn kind of, the breakdown of the words, or where do these words come from, and what are the benefits of the poses, depending on the type of cards that you have. So we'll use the Paschimottanasana today in the practice. Since that one's seated, we're gonna have a nice low with extended meditation 2 times with this practice, and then a Janu Sirsasana, which I've heard someone else call this like a John something pose, and I can't remember, but it's being knee to head pose. So Janu Shirshasana, there we go, knee to head pose. And then, of course, we have Shavasana, which is Shavasana, corpse pose, Sava, corpse, resting, supine. So supine spine, letting the nervous system rest. So there we are. These ones I'm going to choose because the other one is coming at me, I think, just for my own practice. So we'll let that one stay aside. So by now, you may have your yoga mat, any props, blankets, straps, blocks, whatever you would like to use for this practice. But I'm going to get settled in, find a comfortable seated position. For me, that is the easy seated Sukhasana pose, or cross legs pose. And if you'd like to close your eyes at this time, if you haven't already done so, feel free to do so, or I encourage it for this moment. Encourage allowing closed eyes so that when we go into our breath work and moment for peace here, you can really just sink into your body and your space. So may you be seated in a comfortable position. Then may you, if you are not driving and in a safe space, Allow the eyes to close with a gentle smile to release any tension or tightness outside of the jaw, the eyelids, the face. And you'll still want to bring awareness to the center of body, gently lifting and lengthening the spine so the crown making its way, growing tall, the tail connected to the seat or floor or whatever you have underneath you or bed. And in the evening, maybe you'd like to pull away from outside energies. So maybe you have the palms face down, resting on the knees or thighs or sides or floor. And start to welcome awareness to your breath. You could be breathing in and out through the nose. You could be breathing in and out through the mouth. You could be breathing in through the nose and then out through the mouth. All you're doing here is bringing awareness to the breath. And just breathe. Now start to welcome deeper awareness to the physical body. If you're seated in Sukhasana, easy seated pose like I am, are you leaning any or direction? Is the head tilted forward? Is the head tilted back? Or are you centered? If you feel a little off or uneven, you could put a pillow or blanket underneath the tail, underneath your glutes, and get the hips a little higher than the knees. Or see if that assists in lengthening the spine a little bit more. The shoulders are away from the ears. And then notice any differences in the breath. Maybe bring a little more attention to the front belly. As you lengthen, you start to engage that center. You can even take your right hand to belly over the belly button and the left hand to heart. With closed eyes, if you chose to do that. Now maybe check in with the lower body. Now that you've lengthened through the spine, you've grown tall, start to welcome awareness of breath, kind of envisioning it, so to speak, or thinking about it going towards the lower body. This is going to help to bring awareness to the knees, the thighs. The hands could still be over heart or over belly, or they could return back to sides. And if you return the hands back down to sides with the lower body, allow the hands to gently kind of press the knees down and a little further out. You're going to start to gently open the hips here. And take 3 deep inhales and exhales as you do so. So you've grown long. You're using your hands to gently press the knees away, opening up the hips gently. And 3 deep breaths. Release the hands, allow the body to go soft for a moment. And the leg that was on top, if you did Sukhasana, is now going to go to the bottom. And the leg that was on the bottom will now come to the top. Realign, get reacquainted with the ground, the hips, the knees, the tail, and the hands will once again gently press upon the knees. You'll find 3 cleansing breaths or deep breaths here. Define release, letting go, And releasing that tension and tightness, if any, in the hips or any odd feelings there. And just breathe. Encouraging that hip opening once again. After your third breath, no rush or hurry. Maybe take a cleansing breath there, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And then we're going to allow our left leg to stay connected or close into the thigh or groin or hips. We're going to gently, using the hand to assist the right leg, extend it out and away. And I've had this question where when you're teaching virtual, sometimes we'll just say, your hand or choose a leg and extend it, or, oh, it's reverse what you're doing. And some people feel some sort of way about that, but that's okay because we're going to do both sides. So even if it looks reverse, you have your left side and your right side. We're going to take the left side into the thigh of the right. That foot is going to extend away. You might have a little blanket or something underneath the knee if you have anything going on with overextension. Otherwise, that knee could lay flat. And we're going to go into our Janu Sirsasana. That one makes me giggle. I don't know why. So we're going to go ahead and check in with the core. And at your own pace and time, you'll start to allow a forward fold in the body, upper body coming over lower body. And we're going to breathe here, extended hold and breath. So we're going to be here about 8 to 10 breaths and really allow this breath into this right side of body. The upper body is going to soften over the left or over center. You may make some adjustments as the hands suddenly lengthen further and further towards the toes or past the toes. And breathe. Let go and release. And I still said that wrong. That's probably why I giggled. Janu Shasana. That is interesting with the silent H's in there. So Jan Nu Shasana. Janu Shasana. That's where we're at today. Is a stretch for the lower body, the spine. Increases circulation. Tones, we're getting into those front organs and kind of detoxes and tones the organs. Stimulates the liver and kidney. This can be a self-soothing pose to release any upsetting feelings or anxieties or fatigue or things going on in the mind. Breathing, inhaling, exhaling, letting go. So you should be about halfway through. Keep breathing, releasing, lengthening. Find that last breath. And then when ready, you'll slowly roll up the spine. We're going to keep that same leg forward. And then we're going to take the foot that was inside and we're going to allow it to go behind. I call this runner stretch. So that leg or the back of the cat's tail, that foot's going to face back. The toes can be whichever direction. They get some release now. You're going to feel this possibly into that groin now on the opposite side. Find that waist and belly facing forward. And once again, when you're ready, inhale, exhale, forward fold. We're going to be another 8 to 10 breaths. You'll feel the stretch a little bit differently. Breathing, releasing, letting go. You might be halfway there. Check in with your jaw if you start feeling this tightness or the teeth cringing into one another. Breathe and release. Vision possibly that extended leg, the oxygen going towards there, and with every exhale, releasing any tightness or tension so that your muscles relax. You can gain flexibility here. And then when you're ready, once again, slow to rise, the hands can assist. We're going to allow both legs to come in slowly to chest, the knees to chest. Hands go wherever they support the body and find some windshield wipers. So you can do these as slow or as fast or whatever pace you like. I had a thought with that breath, and then it blew away with my exhale. One of those days, I was teaching earlier and left the keys in the door. And that's the second time I've done that at this particular space. Bring the knees back to center. And now that leg that was extended out front will come in, knee bent, and the opposite leg will go away from body. And when you're ready, you'll find that Janu Shirshasana once again on the opposite side. Take your time and breathe, let go. Release and fall. We'll be here 8 to 10 breaths. And so when I had the keys left inside the door, it was like, what am I doing? Where am I? It was like I had no awareness of my present self and present moment. And I had to really check myself. Slow down. What am I doing? Why am I rushing? And become aware, which that's the thought that fleeted me for a moment. Was my friend sent an article about the mind. And so in yoga, we do talk about envisioning things or thoughts in the head quite a bit. And my friend sent me an article about the inner monologue and how not all people have an inner monologue. So even when we're in yoga or in a slower paced class, this tends to happen, or meditation class, instructors like me and others will say envision. And then the article now just kind of clicked because it's well, not everybody envisions the same. So sometimes we use this kind of mystical or transitional kind of jargon or wording, and it may not apply to everyone or it may not apply to you. And really, that's okay. If you don't have an inner dialogue and you are just focused here to pick up some insight or some conversation starters for yourself, or just stretch and breathe and you tune everything else out, just do that. So you'll find those last breaths, you should be halfway through. Maybe you notice some differences with this stretch from the first side to this side. Breathe, and then when ready, just slowly rise. Take your time, use the hands to assist if you choose. That foot that was in center will now go back, our runner's stretch. And once again, when you're ready, find your forward fold, your Janu Shirshasana. I'm going to say that a million times to get it. So thank you for allowing me to share that with you. Use any blocks or straps if you have them and chose to use them today. Now, everyone may not see things, so to speak, in the mind. But one thing, especially for the slower practice, is not to force things. So if you are pulling up your shoulders towards the ears, or your back is really like rounding, like as if you're in cat, then you may be forcing it. And you don't have to force as long as you're breathing, relaxing. And it's going to relax the muscles. And eventually you'll be like, oh, I started up here, away, higher, my head away, my chest away from the knees. And then by the end of it, your forehead is closer, or your upper body is closer to the thigh and the knee, or the hands are further past the feet. So, and those last couple breaths. Then, when ready, use the hands to assist. Inhale, exhale. Slowly rise, no rush, no hurry. And then allow the hands to assist the knees, both knees, to return to the chest and find your windshield wipers once again, starting in the opposite direction, possibly than what you started with. Excuse me, a little burp there. Last time I mentioned this hits the organs. It might hit the digestion, the spine. So you might have some burps. You might have some hiccups yourself. It's nice to have water nearby just in case. Fine, one or two. And then we're gonna go ahead and take the tail back just a moment. We're going to extend and lengthen both legs away. So here, once again, something helpful is if you have a wall, you could face the wall and press the bottoms of the feet against the wall, and the toes are flexed up. If you want to work on really lengthening through the spine and not moving and breathing and letting go, we're going to be here another 8 to 10 breaths. Or you have that option to put a blanket or a pillow or something underneath both knees. Or sometimes what I tend to do is I'll extend one leg and have one knee bent, and then extend the other, and then I'll extend both. So those are some uh, different ways that you could kind of warm up the body or prepare the body for going into the full Paschimottanasana. And then when you're ready, we're going to take it slow once again. So for the first one, we're going to do this one 3 times. The first one, you'll just kind of creep the hands, walk them down the legs, flex those feet. Inhale, exhale, and just really allow the upper body to fall forward. And you could even have that back end against the wall. I have to watch with these lights. But lengthening, lifting up. A little support system here. That wall hopefully ain't going nowhere. And just inhale, exhale, and breathe. You probably have about 7 or so more breaths to go in your forward fold. Just let go of the head and the neck. Be soft like you're inverting. Check in with the spine. Really allow the belly, body, spine to lengthen. Every breath, you're going to start to feel that through the thighs, going up into the hips possibly, and into that spine or that lower body, through the legs into the feet or the calves. Just keep breathing. Take your time. Let that upper body get heavy over the lower body. Find the last couple of breaths in your Paschimottanasana. And then when you're ready, release. You'll unroll the spine. The arms are going to pass through center. We're going to take them up to ceiling and sky. The vision can follow. Be nice and slow because the head is all that blood flowing out of it back to the body. Lengthen, grow tall, stretch. Maybe extend, inclining back, and then exhale, forward fold once again. Seated, forward fold once again. This is a nice one to let you know where you're at too. You don't want to force, if those shoulders are creeping up towards the ears as you get the hands over the toes. Relax with every breath. Allow your body to naturally fold over your lower body. You'll get there. Because sometimes with this one too, I sometimes I'll stretch and I notice I'm like, oh, my shoulders. And I'm like, oh, let me let my arms go. Let me let my legs go, my head. I can feel that difference. And put a little pressure on your belly, on your core and center. That's all right. Those organs will move. My friend said that in class. He's like, it's all right. Those organs will get out of the way. They'll move out the way. He's right. So just release and fold. Check in with the feet. You can even use the hands to comb the bottoms of the feet. As I mentioned, you can always press the bottoms of the feet against the wall. If your hands don't reach, sometimes my hands only reach to my calves or my ankles. Find 2 more breaths here. And then once again, we're going to go one more time. You're going to rise nice and slow. You can even pause for a moment, allowing that blood to rush back down or make its way back down to the body. Then when you're ready, we're going to swoop the arms out towards the side now this time. Arms go out to side. Raise up to ceiling and sky. And lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. You don't have to be perfectly still. You can reset if your body is asking to release out of the pose and then get back in it. If your body is asking to stay there longer, is requesting you to move and wiggle a little bit, go ahead and do so. And find your breath. Maybe a cleansing breath. And then release. Check in with the jaw, the shoulders, the neck. Where are they? Are they relaxed? The feet. My feet tend to want to go out naturally, so whoop, keep those toes flexed towards ceiling and sky. Active stretching with this. So sometimes it's nice to put the hands over the feet or have that wall to keep them in line. Find that last breath. And then release. Roll up nice and slow. Deep cleansing breath. Deep inhale. Exhale. Once again, we're going to go ahead and bring knees close to chest. Hands are going to fall back towards the sides and find those windshield wipers. All right, 2 more moves and a moment for Shavasana, extended Shavasana meditation today. So maybe 3, we'll see, because we're going to go back on the spine. So, well, this will be a 2 for 1. We're going to take a gentle boat pose. So the feet will be connected at first to the mat. The knees will have a little bend. We're going to give a little incline to our upper body. The arms are going to extend out and lengthen, palms facing up, or they can go underneath the knee pits. Your call. So you're going to breathe and you're going to find this incline. And you're just going to allow this little rocking with your incline. And we're going to hover. We're not going to make our way onto the mat yet. We're just going to hover, getting back a little bit further each time, welcoming this little awareness to the core. And then we're going to stop with the hover or with the movements back and forth. Find stillness in our gentle boat. And then when ready, gently release. Hands can go to the knee pits. Knees are going to come into the chest. Breathe, let go. Option to take the hands around the shins and rock side to side. Or maybe the knees move away from center in one direction and then the other. And then we're going to find a supine twist, a variation, supine spinal twist. So we're going to go ahead and allow the knees or feet to connect to the mat again. And then we're thinking of that left and right. It really doesn't matter which one you go first. We're going to balance out with both sides, but I'm going to drop my knees to the right, adjust my hips if I need to, lengthen the arms out to either side. Vision is going to go down the opposite arm side. And just breathe, relax. You could take the knees up a little higher out to that side if you choose. You're going to feel that in the top legs, glute possibly. And also the option if you choose, and you can move your head or change the vision if you need, you could extend that top leg out to that first side also. So my legs went to the right. I could extend my leg out to the right side. This is another one if you have a strap. You could put a strap around it or welcome that foot to come higher and higher and higher. I have my water here, but I'll move it to show you what I mean. So I have that foot out to the right side. It comes higher and higher and higher. Eventually, it might reach up towards my hand. And my thumb might grab, or my hand might grab my thumb or my big toe. And then feeling that stretch in the back here. Take a breath, then release. Release that foot back down. If you took it up, take the knees back to center, adjust the hips, and take your spinal twist towards the opposite direction. Face goes opposite the legs. Oh, I see I have a friend in my space with me, and he is huge. There's a huge spider. I'm like, oh, hey, I haven't seen him before. So same thing. You're gonna extend that leg if you choose, the top leg, and if it makes it up to your hand, you're more than welcome to grab it. So make sure both your shoulders are still connected to mat though, if so. So I just got back to Ohio a bit ago from the south, and it was spider season. And so I wonder if he traveled with me, and I just didn't realize it. He might be a little far from home. That's a little bit bigger than what I normally see in Ohio. Find that breath. But this building is also very old, so who knows, maybe he just lived here a long time. If anyone knows the lifespan of spiders, let me know. We're going to go ahead and release that leg, welcome things back to center. And now you can go ahead and allow any other little stretches or movements to happen. Maybe you take a stretch with the arms overhead. Maybe the legs start to extend and lengthen. Or maybe you prefer the knees back into chest and take a little rock side to side. Do whatever is calling you at this time, at this space and place. And eventually you'll start to make your way into maybe that lowering of the knees if they came into chest. Breathing, releasing, letting go. And into your Shavasana or corpse pose. Oh, I would love to show you this spider, by the way. It's really big. It's also the fact that, though, he may move, so we'll do it after. But you should be in corpse pose anyway, so your eyes will be closing again, so you won't be able to see the spider. Appropriate attire that I wore today, my pet care stuff. Pet spider. So go ahead and breathe, release, let go. Finding your way into your corpse pose or Shavasana if you've not done so yet. And start to allow the body to soften. So we've had our lengthened spines. We're now allowing it to relax and soften. We've had our shoulders, our crown long, our core engaged with every breath. Let it soften. If the eyes were open to see what's happening, you can go ahead and if you're in a safe space with stillness, you can allow those eyes to close. Sinking into whatever it is you find yourself sitting in or laying on. Becoming one with that item in the earth and welcoming an overwhelming calm and peace over the body, mind, and thoughts. Welcoming stillness and quiet for the next few minutes. Breathing. If any thoughts try to creep back into mind, think them and let them go with exhalations, welcoming your awareness and focus and attention back to your breath to help ease and calm the mind once again. And let the body release whatever it has to release. I mentioned I'm a little hiccupy and burpy today. That's a flow that can really kind of press on the organs and detox and kind of massage things and get it going. So that's okay. Let whatever is asking to be released, release. Letting go. Just breathing. Just breathe. Allow your body to melt into the bed or chair or mat or floor, whatever's underneath it. Allow the belly to relax, the spine to relax and soften, the hands, the fingers, the arms and feet, the toes, the neck, the head. Breathing, allowing that awareness to keep with your breathing. Inhaling, exhaling, breathing. Letting go of whatever has already taken place, whatever has happened. The day is done, that is done. And if anything particular has come to mind, take this moment to allow these deep cleansing breaths to let it go. So if there's something particular that kind of keeps coming and keeps creeping, and maybe it's not a very welcoming thought or something you're just like ready to be done with, like, oh, that's over. Welcome this deep inhale and into the body, breathing, 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 and holding it as long as you can. And then when you're ready and you can't hold it anymore, just exhale, let it all go out the mouth, release. As long as it takes to let go. You could even sigh with it. And then do that 2 more times at your own pace and time. Bring it in, deep, deep, deep inhale. Really bring it all in, bring it all in, bring it all in. Welcome all this fresh air and oxygen and breath into the body. And then you can't hold it anymore. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. And then when you're ready, release it. Exhale. And do that once again. Inhale and hold it as long as you can. And then when you're ready for that cleansing breath, sigh it away. And now, if you have more time and you can stay within your moment of peace or Shavasana with your eyes closed, I would encourage you to do so. If you would like to end your practice with me, may you start to welcome gentle movements in the body, gentle movements of shoulders with every breath, gentle movements side to side or of hips or legs, or gentle movements of hands, fingers, toes, feet. Eventually welcoming maybe a side to side movement with the head, one ear to shoulder and then the other, or a head circle if you took a seated Shavasana. And then when you're ready, you'll allow your body to turn onto one side or the other. Breathe slow, and when you're ready, you'll come up to a seated position. Take your time, no rush, no hurry. You'll gently maybe cover the eyes with your hands and then open the eyes into darkness and let some gentle blinks welcome you back to light. No rush, no hurry. And if you'd like to join me whenever you make it to seat or wherever you are, palms together. May this flow ease you into the rest of your day with light, peace, smiles, and love. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this evening hatha to wind down. May you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And if you are in vision now, let's see. I'm going to take this off here. It's going to get a little crazy for a moment. Take this off. Look at a little peek at the rest of my space. You know, this is like never YouTube approved, and we're like shaking things. Oh. We're gonna see if I can get. I don't want to scare her or him or whatever. Maybe you see that dot. Look at that big baby. Look at that. That is a very big spider. It's pretty big, comparable in size. Considering when I zoom out, you can still see it. But leave them be. Maybe they've lived here a very long time. All right. Have a wonderful evening. See you soon.